speaking of tanking, when you look at what's going on around the league with players who are opting out of the season, do you think, especially, I'm looking at New England when I say this,
I know
are they trying to tank for Lawrence from Clemson? You think that's a possibility?
I wouldn't put it past anyone, especially with the way this season's going to go. No one actually knows what's going on, right? So if you do have players opt out, if you do have all these things, one, it's going to give you a chance to really coach up your younger players and better their back into the roster up. Similar to what the Spurs did when they got Tim Duncan, right? Mm-hmm. They played all their backups, and they got them better, and they let their starters rest, right? And then
slide us into the playoffs, and we'll take it from there.
Exactly. And so I think that thought process is going to permeate throughout the league, right? If you feel like you're a quarterback away, if you feel like you're this player away, why not use this season to, if guys are opting out, as they should, if you don't feel comfortable playing, you shouldn't play, to work on the backup guys and the back end of your roster and develop those guys. And then if you don't win, okay, we'll be rewarded in the draft having, where we haven't drafted in the top 5 ever, or in the last, 20 years, 23 years, we're going to draft in the top 5 and get arguably one of the better quarterbacks coming out of college in a long time.
Nice. No, I hear you on that. And just kind of speaking about that, as far as just the NFL and the whole season with COVID-19 being a big issue, what are you hearing from players? I mean, it feels like there's kind of a split. Like there's a part of the league where players are, like, hey, we got to go to work. It's training camp, time to go. Then there's another part that's like, I don't know, if things are looking fishy, I'm out.
Well, think about this. This is the question you have to ask. Are you willing to risk your family's health versus creating generational wealth, right? Now, if I'm single, I have no kids, I have nobody to worry about, I'm going to go out there and do my thing, because if I get sick, it's not going to affect anyone, right? Yeah. It's only going to affect me. But if I have a family with kids, or I have a family member who has an underlying health issue, whatever it may be, I have to really weigh those options, right? And you're looking at a lot of the guys that aren't playing, or because most of them because they have little babies, right? That they have there that they just had, or it's like a family member has cancer, or is battling, getting, whatever it may be. And so those are tough questions for any adult
absolutely
to answer, let alone a young man who's probably, his whole life has been trying to play football and get to the highest level. Now all of a sudden you have to make a decision about whether I'm going to play or not, because I have to risk, getting other people sick, or other people, hurting other people with this. So,
and the NFL is not in the bubble. They're not doing the bubble strategy.
So let me tell you this, and I truly believe this. I think, and I was talking with my agent about it, but the NFL has an opportunity to do a bubble, right? You would have to rework the schedule a little bit, but you can put it like 2 stadiums on the East Coast. Everyone stays in hotels there. You can do every different practice facilities. 2 stadiums in the Midwest for the Midwest teams, right? The Texas teams, the Chiefs, the Bears, the NFC North, that whole situation.
You could use the Colts as the indoor, and the Bears as the outdoor.
Right. Or you can use, the Houston or Chiefs or whatever you wanted, right? And then you can go to the West Coast, right? And you can literally split the season up in 3 and then create a playoffs from that if you wanted to. I just think it's a little bit harder to do when you have, 61 guys on a team, right? Plus trainers, equipment staff, coaching. It's just tough to deal with. And so it's the league, if they were to try to do something like that, where basketball, there's 12 people, right? And there's 2 trainers, 3-4 coaches, you can fit 20 teams in 2 hotels. But for me, it's going to be very difficult, because there's more people, there's more things involved, and it's just going to be tough.
And then the schedule, for the daily schedule, especially in training camp, is vigorous. So
not anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, enlighten me.
So the first 2 days you get COVID tested. So you come in, you get tested, you leave. Right? Day 1. Day 2, you come in, you get tested, you leave. Day 3 is off. Day 4, you come in, you get tested, you leave, right? And now
Oh,
you're doing virtual things. You're doing virtual things.
okay, you got
After
meetings.
that, right? You got meetings and stuff like that. After that, if you have all negative tests, then you can go into a walkthrough on the field. Okay, and then you're meeting and different things. No running though. You'll do some strength and conditioning. I think will be your running part, like some lifting outside, some running to keep your cardio up, and then you literally don't get into pads until like 20 days.
20 days to get into pads.
20 days.
Wow.
I wish.
What? We were doing like 4 days in, full pads. We're like, oh my
live. And so it's definitely a much cushier schedule for these dudes. But
jeez, these guys are pussies. They're getting it easy just because of COVID.
Hey, listen, man. But you know, that is a precaution the league has to take, right?
For sure.
And another thing about the league, and I'll say this: the league has done a great job, really they have their own laboratories on the campus,
on
right?
Site, right?
On site, which is good because you don't want to mess up other laboratories dealing with a bunch of other stuff. So I mean, they're doing their best to try to make it work.
What's it called? It's called like IDER or something like that. It's some kind of their disease response team, basically.
Yeah. But I think that the biggest thing, Uche, is that like the league is trying to do whatever they can to make it work, right? They're giving you have an opportunity to start. Now we don't know if it's going to finish. We don't know how many games are going to get be done because we see what happened with the Marlins in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying, and the biggest thing is the onus on the people. Like a lot of people, like it's the onus on the players. The players have to do what they need to do. Like no. It's the onus on the coaches who like to go out and drink at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the onus on the chef. It's on us on all the trainers, the janitor. Everybody has to do their part because if one person gets it, it will spread through a whole organization like that. So you want to make sure it's not just the players that have to focus on not going out and not doing things. It's everybody in the building, the people in the front office, if they're coming in, like whoever it may be, everyone has to be on point.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a great point to make because, you know, people are asking like, well, why can't players, you know, just stay inside for 6 months? Like, could you imagine being in camp?
Hold on, bro. People couldn't stay inside for 2 months.
People couldn't stay inside for 30 days without freaking out, talking about my rights are getting violated.
Exactly.